What's up guys? Today I've got my hands on AKASO's first ever 360 degree camera. So this is the AKASO 360. It promises professional grade 360 degree content without the professional grade price tag. But is it all hype, or is this genuinely a game changer for beginners? Let's find out, shall we? Roll the intro. Now, the most notable aspect of this camera is its aggressive pricing. The AKASO 360 launches at around $199 for the standard combo. This positions the camera as one of the most accessible options for anyone interested in 360 degree content creation, setting it apart from much more expensive models like the Insta360, which is double in price. Now, out of the box, the AKASO 360 has a decent solid feel to it. It's not overly heavy, but it doesn't feel cheap either. The design is a standard dual lens setup with a dedicated shutter button. The 2.29-inch high-resolution touchscreen on the front is a practical feature for framing and reviewing your shots, and its responsiveness is generally good. Now, in terms of taking photos, you have a choice between 18 megapixels or 72 megapixel photos. On the side, you have a power button, and it also doubles up as a mode button. So you single press to cycle between the modes, and then use the touchscreen to configure other options. Maximum resolution supported with this camera is 5.7K at 30 frames per second. At the bottom of the screen, under the AKASO logo, you have a large shutter button. And on the other side, we have a latch which uncovers our Type-C charging port. And under that, we have another latch which opens up the battery compartment and microSD card slot. And at the bottom of the camera, we have a 1/4-inch tripod thread. And let's do a very quick side-by-side with the Insta360 X3, just to compare the design. Now you can see they do share some similarities. You'll notice they are quite similar in size, both with large screens on the front, with power buttons on the same side. Now if we flip it around to the other side, you will see the battery compartment and charging ports are also on the same side, with a similar textured finish on the sides. And you can see the Insta360 is a shade darker than the AKASO 360. So that was just a very quick design comparison of the AKASO 360 versus the Insta360 X3. Now inside the box you will find a protective camera pouch sleeve. You get a small user guide. You get 2 batteries included in the box, followed by a USB-A to USB-C charging cable, and you get a lens cleaning cloth finished in blue. Now on the technical side, the AKASO 360 features dual 1/2-inch 48 megapixel CMOS sensors. This enables it to capture 360 degree video at 5.7K resolution at 30 frames per second. For photos, it can take 72 megapixel panoramic photos in both JPG and DNG8 RAW formats. This gives you a great deal of flexibility, especially with the RAW option for post-production editing. The invisible selfie stick feature, which is a staple of 360 cameras, works as expected. The software does a solid job of automatically removing the stick from the footage, creating those popular third-person views. The camera stabilization is handled by a 6-axis gyroscope and built-in algorithms. It provides both 360-degree super smooth video and 360-degree horizon lock, which aims to keep your footage stable and level regardless of the camera's movement. And in my testing, the stabilization proved to be quite effective even in high action scenarios. So here are a few samples to share with you. So I'm out and about with the AKASO 360. This is a 5.7K action camera, and we are currently recording 5.7K at 30 frames per second. It's a dull day, cloudy but breezy, and yeah. Myself on the viewfinder, but this is not just recording me, this is recording everything 360 degrees. This entire park where I stand, all around me, is being recorded. This basically records everything you're doing, everything around you. Yeah. Now the real power of a 360 action camera is in the software, and the AKASO 360 uses a mobile app and a desktop program called AKASO 360 Studio for editing. It's compatible with both iOS and Android devices. The shoot first and reframe later workflow is central to the experience. You simply record everything, then you go back to the app to find and export your desired shot as a traditional or flat video. The smartphone app is user-friendly and functional. The mobile app offers features like AI subject tracking, which can follow a person or an object in the frame automatically. This feature performed adequately in good lighting conditions, though its accuracy can be hit and miss in more complex environments. The desktop software is recommended for those who want more precise control over their edits. So the software is user-friendly, easy to use, and you can definitely get creative with it. So very good software. So what is my verdict on AKASO's first ever 360-degree action camera? Well, here are my thoughts. First one, price to performance. It offers a great entry point into 360 video with features that are very competitive for its price. You're getting very good image stabilization. The in-camera stabilization is surprisingly good, making gimbals unnecessary for most users. So even in my action shots running around, riding a bike, or even driving a car, the shots were super smooth. So very effective stabilization. So quick and user-friendly software, both smartphone and desktop apps are very good, which simplifies the reframing process for new users. And the invisible selfie stick works really well, and the software does a good job of completely excluding it from the frame, making your shots look almost drone-like. Now, the caveats. So image quality noticeably degrades in low light environments with a significant increase in noise and loss of detail. But this is expected with mostly all action cameras. Okay, next caveat, this camera is not fully waterproof. Now online it's described as being weatherproof, but it certainly is not waterproof. Now if you're going to use this near water, it's a good idea to grab a separate waterproof case to protect the cameras. Okay, and the last one is screen visibility. Now it can be challenging to see that display in direct sunlight, especially in bright sunny days. So at the end of the day, the AKASO 360 is not a perfect camera. It has clear limitations, especially compared to more expensive models. However, it's a very capable and affordable option for those getting started with 360-degree videos. It delivers on the core experience of capture, stabilization, and editing, all at a price point that is hard to ignore. If you're a beginner looking for a cost-effective way to get into 360 content, this is definitely a camera worth considering. Now I hope you found this video useful. If you have any questions, feel free to fire them at me in the comments. If you want to see more of my latest and greatest unbiased tech reviews, hit the like button, sub to the channel, and hit the bell icon. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Peace.